Give them what they need, not what you think they need. The reason I want to discuss this today or talk about it is I had a fantastic interview a couple weeks back that went live a few days ago where a gentleman by the name of Luke West was asking me some amazing questions on being a single dad, about being a single parent, and how did I deal with certain circumstances. And one of the things that came up was give them what they need, not what you think they need. And the reason for that is when I was raising my kids and even dealing with clients, this also works as well. Listen to what people are saying. Learn the fact that you need to keep your comments to yourself unless you're asked explicitly for advice, number one. Number two, listen to what people are saying, actually watch their body language, listen to their tonality, and then gauge whether or not your response should be something that is more blunt, maybe more softer than blunt, because you know what? We have no right in our life to not deal with people and be kind and make things even worse for them. Sometimes people just want you to listen. And I had to learn that with my kids, and I'm still work in project when it comes to that, even though they're all adults now. And I even do that with my colleagues, people I worship in regards to the fact of mentoring them. Not worship, wrong word. But you know, when you're mentoring somebody and you're dealing with them, they hang on every word that you say. And sometimes when you're just having a conversation with somebody, all they want to do is just have you have a listening ear and not be a fixer. I know most of my life as a dude, as a man, we're taught to, be fixers. That's the way my generation was taught, and society in general teaches us that. Be a fixer, right? You need to fix problems. Don't pussyfoot around. Just make a decision is what I was told, or you've told, maybe I've told that to other people, which I probably have. But over the last, I'd say 20 years of being divorced and a single parent, again, not all of that completely on my own, but about half of that. Being a single parent, I needed to learn to listen to my daughters, listen to my sons. Sometimes they didn't want me to fix things. They just wanted to vent. They didn't want me to just, cut them off and give them a solution or tell them to suck it up. They just needed somebody to talk to vent, to empathize with them, to give them a hug, to, just console them. So give them what they need, not what you think they need, means be cognizant of what people need. So when you're communicating with anybody, it can be somebody at work, it can be somebody, let's say it's a client of yours, it could be your family, it could be your significant other. Just listen, right? If they, like I said in that podcast interview on the Imperfect Pod, if my kids outright said, "What do you think, Dad?" They opened up the floodgates and give me permission to give them advice. If they didn't want advice or they don't want advice, then don't give it to them. Don't give it to anybody. Sometimes, again, people just want you to listen. And you need to understand that you can't impose your will on others unless they want you to help them. And even then, you need to handle it with kid gloves. Be kind in how you deliver your response. If it's advice or, some criticism, hopefully it's constructive criticism done again from a place of kindness, then you do that. You give them that kindness, you give them that advice, and you just, again, once you've said your piece, let that person talk. See how they feel about what you're saying, because they might be confused. Or you might have a conversation where you'd say, does that make sense? Do you want to repeat it back to me so that, we both know that you heard what I said? And you could say the same to them. I've had people say, they'll tell me stuff that's on their mind and I'll repeat it back to them, but obviously paraphrasing it in my words. And I'll say, such and such, is this what you meant? I want to make sure before I give you advice that I actually understand what your concern is, what your challenge is, what you need advice on, so that I can give you the best sound advice that I have. I don't want to misdirect you, right? So whatever you do, when you give people what they need, not what you think they need, it still involves being empathetic, being kind, and listening. I'll say that again. Listen. Are we all good at that? Not necessarily, right? I make mistakes. I still struggle and work on that every single day. But I know the more I work at the skills of listening, the more I work at the skill of picking up on people's mannerisms, their body language, their tonality, the better I get at knowing when it's just a time to listen. Or again, if they ask for advice or they give you an opening to give constructive criticism or advice to help them level up or fix their challenges, do it with kindness. Don't be so blunt about it. And I can be a really blunt person, and I have had to learn how to tone that bluntness down, because if you want to serve others, you need to serve them at the level that they need it at. Again, not what you need it at. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I hope that life is treating you well. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. DM me, drop me a comment below. If you have any questions, concerns, have a topic you'd like me to discuss that you've always wondered or that I've touched on in the past and you want to hear more about it, please feel free to reach out to me. God bless you all. Stay safe. Peace out, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.